This is Daily Homeless News, where tell the stories no one else will. New York City, a place where skyscrapers touch the clouds and dreams feel just within reach. Whether you've watched it on screen, heard it in lyrics, or walked its buzzing avenues, there's no question New York stands as a symbol of ambition, wealth, endless opportunity. Nicknamed the Empire State, this city is praised for its explosive growth, fast-paced energy, and legendary landmarks. But behind the glimmering lights and polished image lies a grittier, often overlooked reality. From the towering skyscrapers of Manhattan to the serene neighborhoods of Staten Island, we'll explore how different areas within New York State are uniquely impacted by homelessness. We'll meet individuals and families facing the harsh realities of life without stable housing, and hear from local officials and community leaders working tirelessly to implement solutions. How effective are the current government initiatives, and what more needs to be done to create lasting change? Throughout this travel documentary, we'll answer these questions and more, providing a comprehensive look at the homelessness crisis and the multifaceted approaches aimed at solving it.
Well, I guess people just moved on theater. Been in there a few times.
Homelessness in New York has reached its highest level since the Great Depression of the 1930s, with an estimated 350,000 people lacking stable housing as of August 2024. Each night, around 132,000 individuals seek shelter in the city's overwhelmed system, while countless others sleep on sidewalks, in subway stations, or rely on friends and strangers for a place to stay. Over the past 20 years, the homeless population has increased by 175%. A brief 25% decline occurred during the pandemic, driven by eviction bans and emergency rental aid. But the crisis has since returned with even greater urgency. Families account for an astonishing 71% of New York's shelter population, with nearly 46,000 children among them. Powerful indicator of the severe crisis gripping one of the wealthiest cities in the world. The ever-growing economic divide has only deepened the struggle for countless residents fighting to stay afloat. In this travel documentary, we'll take a closer look at the 10 cities across New York State most impacted by homelessness, examining the distinct challenges they face and the efforts underway to tackle this escalating emergency. Syracuse, while recognized as a significant city in New York State, has the smallest homeless population among its peers. Only about 25 to 30 individuals are reported to be sleeping on the streets or in shelters each night. Despite the relatively low figure, homelessness in Syracuse is still a pressing issue, largely fueled by ongoing economic struggles and a shortage of affordable housing. One particularly striking fact is that a notable portion of the city's homeless are military veterans, underscoring the challenges many face when transitioning back to civilian life. Local officials have rolled out multiple initiatives such as Housing First and from DA, both of which prioritize providing immediate shelter without requiring individuals to meet certain conditions beforehand. Despite these promising approaches, progress has been slower than in other cities on this list, largely due to limited funding and scarce resources. In Syracuse, support programs operate on a smaller scale, but the local community remains deeply dedicated to helping those in need. Staten Island. Though it's the smallest of New York City's 5 boroughs, Staten Island isn't immune to the growing homelessness crisis. With 216 individuals currently without stable housing, the challenge here is both real and pressing. The borough's lower population density may make homelessness less immediately apparent, but that doesn't lessen the urgency or the need for meaningful support. In recent years, Staten Island has made significant efforts to tackle homelessness by opening 3 new shelters that had been in development for several years. These facilities, located on Van Door Street, Highland Boulevard, and Tompkins Avenue, offer varying levels of support to those in need. The Van Door Street shelter is the largest, with a capacity to house up to 200 families, roughly 500 individuals. The other 2 shelters are designed to accommodate 50 women and 100 individuals, respectively. Complementing these initiatives is a non-profit organization known as People's Path, which plays a crucial role in delivering vital services to the homeless community on Staten Island, often stepping in to fill the gaps left by limited government resources. Albany, the capital of New York State, is celebrated for its deep-rooted history, striking landmarks like the New York State Capitol, and its standing as a center for government and higher education. Yet behind its image of innovation and advancement, Albany grapples with a troubling homelessness crisis, with approximately 750 people living without stable shelter. Escalating living expenses and a critical lack of affordable housing are major factors fueling this issue, painting a stark contrast between the city's economic drive and the daily struggles of many residents. This growing divide underscores the tension between prosperity and poverty in New York's capital. To address the escalating homelessness crisis, the state government launched the Albany Project Hope, an initiative designed to deliver rapid support to individuals facing housing insecurity. Despite its good intentions, the program, like many others in the social service sector, struggles with limited funding that hampers its overall effectiveness. When compared to nearby cities, Albany stands out with a disproportionately large homeless population for its size, especially in contrast to smaller cities like Syracuse. Rochester, once celebrated as a hub of industrial prowess and academic excellence, home to giants like Kodak and the prestigious University of Rochester, is now grappling with a pressing homelessness crisis. Currently, an estimated 83 individuals in the city lack stable housing. A stark reminder of the widening gap between Rochester's proud legacy and its modern-day social struggles. In recent months, homeless encampments have emerged as focal points for safety concerns, with incidents like fires posing threats to nearby neighborhoods. Although city officials have made efforts to transition unhoused individuals into shelters, many of these programs have stumbled due to inadequate funding and poor execution. A notable example is the closure of Peace Village, a well-known encampment that was dismantled without a clear backup plan for residents, leaving many with no option but to return to the streets. Brooklyn, famed for its cultural icons like the Brooklyn Bridge and Prospect Park, and known for its rich blend of neighborhoods, now shelters approximately 1,157 homeless individuals. As living expenses continue to climb, more low-income residents are being priced out of their homes, fueling a rise in homelessness across this storied borough. A significant portion of those on the streets are actually employed in low-wage positions, but their paychecks fall far short of covering rent in Brooklyn's increasingly unaffordable housing landscape. Despite initiatives by city officials to expand affordable housing, the relentless rise in property values and the pace of gentrification have made it nearly impossible to meet the growing demand. Social tensions continue to mount, particularly in neighborhoods like Bensonhurst, where protests have broken out over the placement of new homeless shelters. Many locals worry about the potential impact these facilities could have on the fabric of their communities. In Sunset Park, small business owners are voicing concerns as they deal with increasing problems, such as discarded needles and makeshift encampments lining the sidewalks. These developments underscore the growing divide between Brooklyn's economic growth and the harsh realities of homelessness that still weigh heavily on its most vulnerable residents. In Queens, long hailed for its vibrant cultural tapestry and thriving immigrant communities, is now grappling with a growing homelessness crisis. Currently, 1,219 individuals in the borough are without stable shelter. Although Queens is considered one of New York City's more affluent areas, soaring rent prices have forced many hardworking residents onto the streets. What's especially troubling is that a large portion of the homeless population in Queens is actually employed, yet their wages fall far short of covering the borough's ever-increasing cost of living. While programs like transitional housing and rental assistance exist, they continue to fall short of addressing the escalating demand. In Queens, community districts 1 and 12 have become central hubs for migrant shelters, sparking concern among residents about the rapid establishment of homeless facilities in their communities. One particularly contentious example is the transformation of the Wyndham Garden Hotel in Ridgewood Park into a shelter, an action that has stirred tension among locals who feel sidelined from the decision-making process. Meanwhile, Jamaica Station has increasingly served as an overnight refuge for unhoused individuals, leading to discomfort among regular commuters. These situations underscore the ongoing challenge of balancing empathy with sustainable, community-informed solutions. Buffalo, the second largest city in New York State, known for its rich industrial heritage and close proximity to the majestic Niagara Falls, is currently facing a growing homelessness crisis that has impacted 1,432 individuals. The collapse of the manufacturing industry, paired with persistent unemployment and a decaying housing infrastructure, has left countless residents without secure housing. The city's brutal winters make the situation even more dire, as seasonal homelessness surges during the colder months. With emergency shelters frequently operating at full capacity, many people are left with no option but to endure the freezing conditions outside. Efforts to tackle the crisis, such as clearing homeless encampments in the downtown core, have largely fallen short. Those who are displaced often find themselves back on the streets, underscoring the severe shortage of long-term housing solutions and adequate shelter availability. Buffalo's ongoing battle with homelessness mirrors a wider challenge across upstate New York, where economic decline, and a fraying social safety net continue to leave countless individuals at risk. The Bronx, despite its rich cultural legacy and recognition as the birthplace of hip-hop, holds a troubling distinction. It has the highest poverty rate in New York City and is home to one of its largest homeless populations, with approximately 1,458 individuals living without stable shelter. This contrast is striking. A borough celebrated for its artistic contributions and proud heritage is also a focal point of a worsening housing crisis. Generational homelessness is a particularly distressing issue, with many unhoused individuals being the children of parents who also faced life on the streets. This ongoing cycle of displacement paints a sobering picture of systemic struggle within one of the city's most iconic neighborhoods. Although the Bronx has the highest number of shelters among all boroughs in New York City, these facilities are frequently overcrowded and unable to meet the ever-increasing demand. Homeless encampments often resurface in public areas, such as parks and sidewalks, creating difficulties for nearby businesses. While government initiatives aim to move unhoused individuals into shelters, these efforts have largely fallen short. As quickly as one camp is cleared, another takes its place. This persistent cycle highlights the ongoing challenge of effectively tackling homelessness in the borough. Manhattan, the beating heart of New York City's financial and cultural life, is renowned for its iconic landmarks like Times Square and its skyline of soaring skyscrapers. Yet behind the glitz, it also harbors one of the city's most visible homeless populations. With over 4,000 people living without shelter, this reality underscores the stark economic divide within a borough that's home to 1.6 million residents. From subway platforms to public parks and busy street corners, unhoused individuals are a constant presence, an inignorable sign of the city's ongoing struggle to manage a deepening crisis. In an effort to manage the crisis, the city routinely conducts sweeps to remove homeless encampments from public spaces. Yet these actions tend to be more about appearances than addressing the root of the problem, providing only short-lived fixes while the underlying issues remain untouched. A vivid example of this can be found in the tunnel near the Hudson River in Upper Manhattan, which has evolved into a shadowy encampment littered with garbage and human waste. In this dim, forgotten space, several individuals have fashioned makeshift homes using old mattresses and bed sheets, creating a semi-permanent refuge beneath the city. Nearby residents, overwhelmed by blocked sidewalks and unbearable odors, often reroute their daily commutes just to avoid the area. Despite ongoing cleanup operations, the encampments keep returning, highlighting the city's failure to implement meaningful, lasting solutions. New York City overview. At the top of the list is New York City itself, with a homeless population of about 4,140 individuals sleeping on the streets, in parks, or on the subway every night. Although New York operates the largest homelessness response program in the nation, the problem continues to worsen due to soaring living costs and widening economic inequality. Even as authorities clear encampments from high-profile business districts and tourist areas, many homeless individuals soon return to the streets, making the cycle difficult to break. City shelters are also overwhelmed with over 150,000 people currently relying on the shelter system for housing. While the city has tried to replace encampments with more permanent housing, such efforts often face resistance from residents, especially in wealthier neighborhoods that oppose the construction of shelters near their homes. This opposition complicates efforts to build much-needed housing solutions, leaving thousands with no safe place to go. Adding to the complexity is the issue of mole people, an elusive group of individuals estimated to number anywhere between 5,000 and 25,000. These individuals live hidden within the city's labyrinth of subway tunnels and utility corridors, creating small underground communities far from the public eye. Some reside in extremely dangerous areas, such as near live electrical tracks, underscoring the precariousness of their situation. The existence of these underground dwellers symbolizes not only the physical displacement of the homeless, but also the social invisibility that keeps them on the margins of society. Addressing the crisis, government and community efforts. The homelessness crisis in New York State is multifaceted, requiring comprehensive solutions that address both immediate needs and long-term systemic issues. Government initiatives, non-profit organizations, and community efforts all play pivotal roles in tackling this challenge. Local and state governments have launched various programs aimed at reducing homelessness. Initiatives like the Housing First model prioritize providing stable housing as a foundation for addressing other issues such as employment, healthcare, and education. The Albany Project HOPE is one such effort that seeks to offer rapid intervention services to those experiencing homelessness, helping them transition into stable living conditions. However, these programs often face significant obstacles, including budgetary constraints and limited resources. Despite the best intentions, the scale of the homelessness crisis can overwhelm existing support systems, leading to gaps in service and inadequate coverage for those in need. Nonprofit organizations are critical in filling the gaps left by government programs. Organizations like People's Path in Staten Island provide essential services including food, clothing, medical care, and job training. These organizations often operate on tight budgets and rely heavily on community support and donations to sustain their efforts. In Rochester, nonprofits have been instrumental in addressing the immediate needs of the homeless population, even as they advocate for more sustainable long-term solutions. The dismantling of Peace Village highlighted the urgent need for comprehensive plans that go beyond temporary relocations, emphasizing the importance of collaboration between government bodies and nonprofit organizations. Community involvement is essential in combating homelessness. Local residents, businesses, and volunteers contribute to various initiatives, from donating supplies to participating in advocacy efforts aimed at influencing policy changes. In Brooklyn, for example, small business owners in Sunset Park have voiced their concerns about the increasing visibility of homelessness, prompting community-driven discussions on how to balance economic growth with social responsibility. Moreover, public awareness campaigns and educational programs help destigmatize homelessness, fostering a more compassionate and supportive environment for those affected. By engaging the community, cities can create a more inclusive approach to solving the homelessness crisis. Educational and preventive measures. Addressing homelessness also involves educational and preventive strategies aimed at tackling the root causes of the issue. Efforts to provide education and job training to homeless individuals can empower them to achieve self-sufficiency and reintegrate into society. Additionally, preventive measures such as rental assistance programs and affordable housing initiatives aim to reduce the risk of individuals and families becoming homeless in the first place. Technological innovations. In the modern age, technological innovations offer new avenues for addressing homelessness. Mobile applications and online platforms can connect homeless individuals with resources, shelters, and job opportunities more efficiently. Data analytics can help governments and organizations identify trends, allocate resources more effectively, and measure the impact of various initiatives. The role of mental health services. A significant proportion of the homeless population struggles with mental health issues, substance abuse, and other personal challenges. Providing accessible mental health services is crucial in helping individuals overcome these barriers and achieve stability. Integrating mental health support with housing initiatives can create a more holistic approach to addressing homelessness. The importance of affordable housing. At the heart of the homelessness crisis is the lack of affordable housing. Rising rent prices and limited availability of low-cost housing options force many individuals and families into homelessness. Addressing this issue requires a multi-pronged approach, including increasing the supply of affordable housing, implementing rent control measures, and offering subsidies to those in need. Policy recommendations. To effectively combat homelessness, policymakers must adopt comprehensive strategies that encompass housing, healthcare, education, and economic support. This includes expanding affordable housing by investing in the construction and maintenance of affordable housing units to meet the growing demand. Enhancing support services is crucial, providing integrated services that address the diverse needs of the homeless population, including mental health care, job training, and substance abuse treatment. Additionally, strengthening preventive measures by implementing policies that prevent homelessness, such as eviction prevention programs and rental assistance, is essential. Fostering community partnerships by encouraging collaboration between government agencies, nonprofit organizations, and community groups will create a unified response to homelessness. Finally, promoting public awareness through educating the public about the realities of homelessness can reduce stigma and encourage supportive actions. Conclusion. Homelessness in New York State is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires a holistic and sustained effort to address. From Syracuse to Manhattan, each city faces unique challenges but also shares common struggles in combating this crisis. Through government initiatives, nonprofit organizations, community efforts, and innovative solutions, progress can be made towards reducing homelessness and providing stable, supportive environments for those in need. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live without a permanent home in one of the world's most iconic cities? Understanding the human stories behind the statistics can foster empathy and drive collective action. What more can we do to support our fellow citizens facing homelessness? As we continue our travel documentary series, we aim to shed light on these critical issues and inspire positive change. If you found this documentary insightful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations of the world's most pressing social issues. Your support helps us bring these important stories to a wider audience, fostering a more informed and compassionate community. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next travel documentary, where we explore another facet of urban life and the challenges that come with it.